From Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky, a big matchup. I mean a big matchup in the USL Championship tonight. The defending champions, San Antonio FC, are in Kentucky to take on the challengers, Louisville City, in a rematch of last year's USL Championship final. We can't wait to bring you the rematch tonight. Sean St. Jacques, Jose Rodriguez here with you on ESPN+, and here we go. We start by taking a look at the PowerNet standings. Lou City in third coming into tonight.
Man, no man, I am excited. I am ready for this matchup. Lou City third place. You know, a good start, I guess. You know, there were two games right there that maybe we have to circle and think back about those two. But I think off to a good start for Lou City, 9 points. For San Antonio, of course, it's an opportunity again to come here on the road and really prove they are the defending champ.
Let's flash back. November of last season, the final of the USL Championship in San Antonio. It was the men in black that got it done. They won by 3-1 and lifted the trophy at Lou City's expense.
Well, I can still remember that night. You know, a commanding performance from Santi Patiño, who, by the way, he's no longer with San Antonio, but a very good final, you know, very entertaining. And wow, this play from Cristian Parano right here, just outstanding. We can expect that from him. He is in the starting lineup tonight.
Two of the best teams of recent memory in the USL Championship. It was a big time final. Lou City were down 3-0 in the game. Brian Ownby got a late consolation goal. In the end, San Antonio reigned supreme in the USL Championship, and they're trying to make a statement tonight. As we take a look at players to watch, brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union, Tyler Gibson will look to make a big impact for Coach Cruz's bunch.
A very important player because he gives you balance between the back line and the attacking part of the field. So look for Tyler Gibson to be consistent with the ball. He doesn't miss a lot of passes in the middle of the field, and that's key for Danny Cruz.
On the San Antonio side of things, our player to watch is the goalkeeper, Jordan Farr. How about the March 2023 Player of the Month in the USL Championship?
We kind of have to talk about him, right? This is probably one or two times in the entire season that a goalkeeper would get Player of the Month. So a lot of credit goes here to Jordan Farr.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups around these two players to watch. Danny Cruz for Lou City. It's brought to you by Breeze. Here is his starting 11.
Well, 4-3-3 formation, Winder and Tosh in the back line. Obviously, two very important players. Del Pico and Telufsen, good through the wings, but, you know, they need help from Mushagalusa and from Ownby moving back and helping in the build-up.
Breeze Airways also brings you the 11 that Alan Marcina brings to Kentucky with him tonight.
Well, this is going to be interesting tonight. We're setting this up as a 4-4-2, but as we all know, San Antonio can put 3 in the back as well, and that make it a 5 line. So Hansen and Bailone at the top, obviously very attacking-minded players.
You want a blockbuster matchup early on in the USL Championship season? This is it. The challengers against the champions. The kickoff from Kentucky is next.
WDRB News app delivers more WDRB news, where you want it, when you want it. Like catching up on today's top stories from your bed because you missed the evening news while binge watching that drama series you're hooked on. Download the WDRB News app for free.
When the Thompsons first bought their house, all they saw was their dream home. They didn't yet know that with a home equity line of credit from Commonwealth Credit Union, it would be their keys to epic cannonballs and the chance to see the world. As years went by, it allowed them to empower the next generation and make happily ever after come true. Which begs the question, what could your home be doing for you? Let's find out together. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
At Rally's, I'm in the driver's seat. Give me that $5 meal deal with a Rally burger. Nah, a mushroom Swiss burger, plus fries, chicken bites, and a drink for just $5. Or why not go big? I want a fried mushroom Buford. Whatever you order, own it at Rally's.
This about to be a moment that you won't forget. Cooking up heat, yeah, the boy top chef. Grind so heavy, tell him we got next. Trophies in the case, gold ropes on the neck. What a shot. Now look around, this is what they call greatness. Yeah, now start it up.
You ready for this?
Because we're coming to the CW.
If you want to see the future, then take a look at us.
Watch Live Golf all season long on WBKI.
When we win, you win.
We're partnering with Wendy's to celebrate all Lou City and racing wins with a free small Frosty.
No purchase necessary.
Simply go to any participating Louisville area Wendy's the day after a win. Show the club's social media posts featuring Wendy's and claim your free small Frosty.
Enjoy this Wendy's treat after every Lou City and racing win.
Sean St. Jacques, Jose Rodriguez back here with you at Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky, getting you set for Lou City and San Antonio, the rematch from last year's USL Championship final. Tonight's weather report is presented by Advanced ENT and allergy, partly sunny, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, slight winds of 5 miles per hour, and a packed house in Louisville, Kentucky, ready for the rematch between two of the Titans in the USL Championship. Jose, it's a game that we've been waiting for since the season ended. Lou City wants revenge. San Antonio wants to reestablish themselves as the team to beat in the USL Championship.
Absolutely, and listen, it's early in the season, yes, but, you know, I feel like, you know, because of the way things ended for both teams last year, you know, this is a great opportunity to continue. And I don't know if we should call it a rivalry between these two teams, but we were talking before we went on air about the potential, and it could be very possible for these teams to meet again in the final. So then you start thinking about those possibilities and the responsibilities that come within, you know, playing one of the top teams in the league and just trying to prove that, yes, I belong as a champion. And for Louisville, you know, an opportunity as well to test yourself against the top team right now in the league.
San Antonio visits Louisville in their reds with the black trim from top to bottom. Lou City, as they always are, in their purples. Referee blows his whistle, and the rematch commences from Lou City. The final revisited as Lou City tries to get some payback against San Antonio for ending their title hopes a season ago in Texas. Sean St. Jacques, Jose Rodriguez, happy to have you with us from Lynn Family Stadium. Can Louisville City get some retribution? Or will San Antonio plant the flag down again early on in this regular season and prove that they are the class of the league in this early going? A game that just about everybody that follows this league has had circled on their calendars since, well, even before Thanksgiving, maybe, of 2022. We finally get to see the action revisited. Of course, these are two teams with not only star-studded players, but resumes that are just as good as it gets in the USL Championship. Of course, Lou City are two-time winners of this league. San Antonio finally got to the Mount Olympus of the USL Championship last season at Lou City's expense. That's tough to do. Lou City tend to win the finals they get to. San Antonio stopped them. We had a chance to talk with Danny Cruz before the game, and he talked about the contrasting styles that these two teams have. Lou City wants to possess the ball. They want to move the ball, put together passes. San Antonio says that's just fine with us.
Yeah, and one thing that Danny Cruz, you know, said several times during our call was second ball. Second ball, you got to win the second ball. You have to stay alert for the second ball. You have to make sure that you win that battle throughout the night. And obviously that's something that every team in USL Championship knows. But the style for Alan Marcina and his team is so unique that, you know, it's hard to adjust within the game, especially when you're a possession-based team.
Here's some possession for the visitors here. San Antonio trying to work their way down this far side. Nice challenge from Josh Winder, who's got a big weekend change coming up for him in his career. And then a bit of a challenge back in there was a bit rash. Our referee is Malik Badawi tonight. Challenge came in from Christian Parano.
And Parano knows he's late. And, you know, it's an obvious reaction from players. Oh, and an early yellow here.
Referee wasting no time, taking Parano's name. And it's a booking inside of 3 minutes for San Antonio to a pretty important player.
And not a lot of defensive responsibilities to Parano, but, you know, he needs to be very, very careful when he goes back and tries to help defensively. He's late that time. And now, I'll tell you this. Parano, he can play with a yellow card. He has plenty of experience.
Yellow cards tonight brought to you by World of Beer. That's a misplaced pass in behind. Nico Hansen for San Antonio crosses it into the middle. Big chance! Great save down by Zemla to keep San Antonio out. That was a lovely piece of interplay from the visitors. Goalkeeper makes a big early save.
Man, well, off to a good start. First off, I think we're off to a good start here because I think we have seen the energy, we've seen how both teams are approaching this game. They really want to get 3 points here tonight. But a good combination here from San Antonio. Again, a long ball. Hansen gets the good touch through the middle. A perfect feed that time, but Bailey just with a great shot, but an even better save.
Oliver Zemla coming up big early for Lou City. That was not an easy save down to his left. He gets enough of a glove on it, I should say, to keep it out. Now Lou City trying to move in the right direction. Enoch Mushagalusa picks it up. Way back for Amadou Dia. It's floated through for Ownby, who scored last year in the final. Just a touch too far out in front of him. Jordan Farr collects and clears. Piccolo in the midfield, chesting it down for possession. San Antonio have it. And then Winder shepherds it out for a goal kick.
Another long ball that time from Maloney. Maloney playing as a right center back here tonight, giving an opportunity on the right side to Bailey. Gomez I should say, on the right side, and Bailey will be moving on to the left side. But up and down the field, both wingbacks.
Commonwealth Credit Union has been bettering lives in the communities they serve since 1951. To learn more, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com. Brian Ownby scored what ended up being a consolation goal in the final season ago. Let's look at Danny Cruz. Won the Eastern Conference title for Lou City a season ago. They just couldn't quite finish it off in the final. It's been a remarkable run for San Antonio, even before they won the final last year. Home and away, they've just been incredibly difficult to beat in the USL Championship. Here's Winder. Big week for him. 17-year-old got called up to the U.S. men's national team, the senior men's national team. We'll get to that in a second. He plays a great ball in behind here. There's purple shirts waiting for service in the middle. And the block will send it out for a corner. Nice run from Mushagalusa. San Antonio close it down.
Timing was just perfect that time from Maloney. Mushagalusa bigger, stronger, faster than Maloney, but the timing defensively was just outstanding that time.
Del Piccolo will take the corner. It's a Wi-Fi Wellness Club corner kick for Lou City. They'll go the short route. Now it's lofted in towards the back post. And San Antonio have enough bodies there to deal with it. Served back in by Gibson. This is Wilson Harris. Harris is brought down. Fans look for a penalty. It's not been given. Recycled for Mushagalusa. Ownby tries to curl one into the penalty area. It was deflected. Headed back towards the 18-yard box. It falls kindly for Enoch Mushagalusa. Good ball across. It's cleared away by Lamar Batista. And Lou City can maybe create something from the ensuing play here.
So the rotation offensively from Lou City, it's what makes them so hard to defend, because a few moments ago we saw Mushagalusa being successful on the right side, and just a few seconds later he switches to the right side and still he was able to bring the cross in. That's what makes them unpredictable.
Another Wi-Fi corner here. Del Piccolo with his left, wearing the captain's armband tonight. Goes centrally. Could fall for a chance here. Perez left it. Served back in by Del Piccolo once more. Winder's touch. Mushagalusa keeps it in. Another recycle. It's flicked on for a chance, and Harris couldn't keep his footing. And Lou City will have to retreat for now.
Man, I love it. I love the energy that I see on the field. You know, we had expectations, big expectations about this matchup. And I think the first 8 minutes, you know, there's the common denominator, and it's every player on the field is fighting for possession, is fighting for that ball. They want to be careful with it. Look at the way players react to a handball. Everybody lifts up the hand. That's why, because that's what they need to be. They need to be careful with every single detail within the game, and so far we've seen that.
More signs of that collective group that Alan Marcina has put together. Should mention as well, both teams are a bit banged up tonight. Both teams had at least 4 players questionable coming into the night. Only a handful of them were even able to make the team. Biggest one, of course, was Nico Hansen, who was questionable with a lower body injury. Of course, we saw him a moment ago help create a chance for San Antonio in the starting lineup tonight. It's a good challenge from Zico Bailey, but he concedes the throw. We were talking before the game, Jose, and when you look at San Antonio's resume, this run that they've been on, going back to before they won the final last year, you just take your pick as far as the stats that stand out for the defending champions, not just having the trophy, but when they score first, the numbers are jaw-dropping. That first goal is going to be crucial. Lou City won it, and Ownby made a good run through the middle. It was well read by Jordan Farr.
Well, not an easy ball at all. You know, you have to control the ball in the middle of a run, and then you basically have to thread the needle between 3 center backs. So a great idea, but a good job that time from Jordan Farr.
Of course, for those that have seen the first few weeks of the season, it was a tough couple of games for Lou City. Lost 8-0 on aggregate in back-to-back games, but they found a little bit of that magic against Detroit City as Hansen nudges it forward past the goalkeeper, but too far. And it's out for a goal kick. The 3-0 defeat, that stood out. The 5-0 that followed against Sac Republic. But for Alan Marcina's group, they're off a 0-0 draw against Sac Republic last time out. Hoping to build from that, but again, for San Antonio coming in at home, and they're not at home tonight, but they've gone a year unbeaten, 18 games at home unbeaten, 16 matches in total unbeaten, dating back to last season. So they've been on an incredible, incredible run. We were dropping our jaws before the game on this next one. Since the start of 2022, when San Antonio scores first, it's happened 36 times, as that's going to be a free kick for the visitors. They've never lost, 30 wins and 6 draws. And that's just the beginning. The numbers for San Antonio speak for themselves. Lou City have had those kind of numbers in years past, but they're still trying to find their footing at the beginning of this season.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, the main thing for San Antonio is that, you know, the core group of players from last year is back. And that's something that Louisville knows. It's a good recipe because that's something that they have been able to do throughout the years. And that's why, you know, the success from Lou City has been much longer than what it is right now for San Antonio. Obviously, you know, the model, the formula that right now it's working for Louisville is something that, you know, we like to see from other teams in USL Championship. And it looks like San Antonio is trying to do almost the same thing.
Talked about the great numbers for San Antonio. Lou City, since June of 2021 at home, 25 wins, just 4 defeats, 2 draws. They don't tend to drop points here at Lynn Family Stadium, and they have the ultimate opposition in their building tonight. Here's Mushagalusa on the attack for the hosts. Going right at Connor Maloney. Mushagalusa shoots, and it's fielded well by Jordan Farr in his goal.
Well, a good job from Lou City moving the ball from side to side. This time they're able to find some room to the left. I think that's where they have been able to make some damage here, just trying to bring the ball in, but they are lacking the connection inside the box. That's the one thing missing right now in the first 13 minutes of the match for Lou City.
San Antonio had that nice little interplay, led to the Zico Bailey attempt. Big save from Oliver Zemla. That was San Antonio's biggest chance in these early moments of the game, but other than that, it's been what we expected. Lou City trying to pressure San Antonio, create chances. Just lacking the clinical touch, but that's what San Antonio thrives on. Trying to make you have to be perfect to get through their phenomenal team defense. PC whips in a good ball. Was cleared out. Not definitively, at least not initially. Connor Maloney can recycle for the visitors. This is Shannon Gomez. Gomez curls one into the middle. It was dealt with by Sean Tosh. Headed back towards the penalty area, but now Lou City have it under control with Del Piccolo. Lou City claiming possible handball there against Zico Bailey. It's not been given. They get on with it via a throw instead. San Antonio, since interconference play was introduced back in 2021, 11 wins, just 1 defeat, and 3 draws against the East. So not only are they good on the road, they're good on the road against the East as well. Ball is lifted over the top, has to be dealt with here. San Antonio get onto it. Pirano gets to the byline, but runs out of room as it's shepherded out by Amadou Dia.
Perfect illustration of the second ball we were just talking about a few moments ago, right? Long ball, then Hansen is able to get a touch on it, but still the ball finds a way to Pirano. Then Pirano moves on the right side, and this time he's not able to take a shot on goal, but that's the way it works for San Antonio. Alan Marcina is not happy with dominating the game in terms of possession, but if they win the second ball, they can be successful.
Christian Pirano is on that early yellow card for San Antonio. Picked that up, beg your pardon, in the 3rd minute of the game for the visitors. That'll be worth keeping an eye on as this half rolls on.
Yeah, they need to find a way to take away some of that of those defensive responsibilities for him, because you don't want him to play defense. And you know, especially when you're playing on the road, get a second yellow card. You're playing down a man. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to be in trouble.
Ball is switched by Dia. It's a lovely first touch by Manny Perez. Now Ownby. Back for Perez. On the overlapping run, it's a good sliding challenge by Fabian Garcia, and it's a set-piece opportunity from a corner.
Yeah, it's a very good job. I think, you know, at some point for San Antonio, it's going to be very important to play defense with the ball. Yes, they don't thrive on possession, but at some point I think they need a breather, because as it stands right now, Louisville is finding plenty of room through the wings, and that's dangerous.
Del Piccolo from the corner. Can Lou City find an early goal? Something that San Antonio doesn't give up very often. Again, good service comes in. Del Piccolo gets another chance at it here. It's recycled around. Perez for Del Piccolo. First time ball is whipped in. It nearly fell for Ownby. San Antonio calling for a handball in there. It's been given, and it's a free kick for the visitors.
Yeah, good job from Lou City. You know, the concepts are so clear and so well worked on, especially, you know, as you see the process throughout the years for Lou City, the system continues to develop into, at times, something that it's very difficult to defend, just because players are able to find room where you don't see it. Good balls, good movement without the ball. It's you know, it's the style that Lou City brings to this league is just outstanding.
Pirano wins a set piece here for San Antonio in a really good position for the champions. Something for Lou City to pond over from a defensive perspective here. And a host of players for Alan Marcina's group who could take this. Certainly within striking distance. Garcia does stand over it. Garcia is going to strike it, and he put a little bit too much on it and sends it into the Lou City support behind the goal. Fans, when Lou City wins, you win. This season, Lou City is partnered with Wendy's to give you a free small Frosty if the boys in purple win. No purchase necessary. The offer is valid the following day after a game. Head to a participating Louisville area Wendy's location to redeem.
It's a good deal.
Not bad, right? Not bad at all. I take it you're a Frosty guy. You go fries in the Frosty?
I did put myself out there, right?
Ooh, a challenge comes in there. San Antonio just asking the question of a penalty there. It's not been given. And Perez, he's nudged off the ball there. So San Antonio does keep it on this end. Alan Morcina was certainly asking the question of our referee for a possible penalty. We play on. Bailey whips it in. Ball is headed down and wide of the goal.
Well, I'm a little bit surprised by San Antonio because I think they're still pushing numbers forward, maybe more than what I expected, because obviously you're playing against Lou City on the road. You kind of have to show some respect, and not that they're being disrespectful, they're just being aggressive in their strategy, which is totally fine. But I would have expected San Antonio to step back a little bit and wait for the counter-attack game, especially early on, but that's not the case.
We saw that chance earlier that Bailey ended up nearly scoring.
Yeah.
Great save from Zemla. That looked like a team more that was ready to go for the jugular, as Ownby is brought down by Bailey and is going to see yellow here. That was a very rash challenge, and I think he knew exactly what his fate was going to become as soon as he made contact.
Well, you know, it's so hard for Bailey to stop at that time, especially when you're a defender. You need to stop the ball, but if you can stop the ball, you stop the player. That's the saying, and unfortunately that time, it's a little bit unnecessary because it's the middle of the field, not a counter-attack situation. And it is a second yellow card in 20 minutes for San Antonio.
Another World of Beer booking. Like you said, Jose, that's 2 players now in the book. Ownby nearly made a beautiful first touch. Appreciated the service, but far player of the month for March. We highlighted that in the open. Comes up with it for San Antonio.
And this yellow card a little bit more concerning, because Bailey, yes, he can move forward up the wing, but, you know, Ownby is around all the time, and that's trouble for him.
Well, we just saw it become trouble with the challenge that led to the booking itself, to your point, as Dia clears. 20 minutes gone. It's felt like a rematch of a boxing fight. Couple of jabs that have landed, but no definitive blow yet. Of course, every year when you think of who are the favorites, right, to win the cup, Lou City for, boy, nearly a decade now. It's been for some time. You would put them in that conversation year in and year out, but San Antonio's kind of taken that crown in some regard from them. But on the attack here, ball is a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. Zemla reads it perfectly.
Yeah, for too long, I think it was, okay, Lou City, we know they'll be in the final, the conference final. Who are they going to play against?
Right.
Who's the matchup this year?
I give the Rowdies credit too. They've been trying to challenge Lou City over these last few years. Of course, they got to the final 2 years ago and lost at home to Orange County. And then, of course, the trophy stayed with the Western Conference when San Antonio beat Lou City in Texas last year. And that was the first ever meeting between the two at the time. And this is the second meeting. That's why it's been so highly anticipated that these two would tangle this early in the following season. Harris putting pressure on with Del Piccolo after Ja'Cory Hayes was a little bit slow to pick it up. San Antonio cleared it, but it's back with Lou City. Great ball for Mushagalusa to run onto here. Enoch Mushagalusa trying to size it up. It's a cross into the middle. It splits between Del Piccolo and Ownby. Bailey is forced to clear it out for a Lou City throw.
Good pressure that time from Ownby, just not giving up on the play. Basically forcing Bailey to give out possession very quickly.
Perez able to play it centrally. Tellefson out wide. Dia. Mushagalusa. More probing from Lou City. Good ball in for Harris. Oh, my word! It's a stunning header. Wilson Harris lights up Louisville with a beautiful, beautiful headed goal. And the challengers lead the champions. Stunning stuff from the host.
Man, oh man, what a beautiful goal, a beautiful feed from the left side, Mushagalusa, and what a finish. My goodness, a lot of quality from Harris that time. Look at the way he turns. The ball's coming in. Man, what a goal. And if you score a goal against Jordan Farr, best player in the league in the last month, it better be a good one. What a goal from Harris. He did score against Detroit, doing it in back-to-back games now. Wow, just a beautiful header. A clinic out there from Harris.
Just what Lou City would have wanted. It takes some quality to breach the San Antonian defense. That's exactly what Wilson Harris provides. And Lou City strike first in the rematch. Team leading second goal of the season for Wilson Harris. And the challengers hit back against the champions. What does San Antonio have up their sleeves? They're right back to work, and they will win a throw. We said right before we came on the air, Jose, this was off the air.
Yeah.
What would happen if San Antonio conceded first? When they don't, when they score first, they are seemingly unbeatable. Now they're behind.
Yeah.
Trying to get level right away, but the pass is picked off, and Lou City can try and go the other way. That's the thing, right? Lou City have struggled in the early parts of this season, but as many people know, it just takes a match for them to get humming. They're off to a good start. Challenge in the penalty area there. Referee had a look at it. We play on. PC goes down in the penalty area, but doesn't get a spot kick.
Well, the problem with PC is that he complains for every single play. And I've known him for years now. I've known him for years. And, you know, sometimes when you complain for every single play, then it's hard for the referee to believe what you're saying.
Certainly didn't give San Antonio the decision on that occasion. And there you go. There's the stat just to back up what we were talking about earlier. First time San Antonio has conceded first this season. Doesn't happen often in USL Championship play of late. The team looking for revenge for last year has them down on the road in front of a big crowd here in Kentucky.
To be fair, though, we shouldn't be surprised that it's happening in Louisville, right? I mean, this is one of the top teams in the league. And if there's any team that you'll guess will do it and will score first against San Antonio, probably Lou City is at the top of the list.
You're saying if they can't do it, no one can, I guess, right?
I mean, it will happen again.
They found a way.
But, I mean...
It took some doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It took some doing. Immaculate header from Wilson Harris. You're not going to see many better than that this season. From a very difficult angle. And again, we're talking about one of the best goalkeepers in the league here in Jordan Farr. He couldn't get a glove to it. And we've had the electrifying start in Louisville that we were hoping for. Now we'll see what the champions are made of in these early parts of the season. And we'll see if the challengers can keep it going. Mushagalusa's great ball that led to the goal. Dia backtracks just to get it out of harm's way. It's controlled by Lamar Batista, who played really well for Rochester, New York FC last year, and MLS Next Pro. Was one of the best defenders in the league in its inaugural season. Of course, it was tough to see the news that Rochester, New York ceased operations, but then players like Lamar Batista get picked up by a team like San Antonio and get to continue to progress in the right direction of their careers.
And that's a lot of credit to San Antonio as well. Very good scouting, you know, just not, you know, emphasizing on what's available at my league, at my own level. I can look away, look someplace else, and still find talent.
No question. A couple of free kicks here that haven't gone Lou City's way. PC will set up a set piece opportunity here for the champs in search of an equalizing goal. It's whipped in. It's Harris, the goal scorer, who gets a touch and concedes a corner.
So set piece opportunity here. And not that San Antonio, they haven't been able to create out of the buildup, because they did at least once with the shot from Bailey we saw early on in the match. But obviously very important some very good targets inside the box. Batista will be one of them here.
Corner is whipped in towards goal. Gibson got ahead to it. Ownby as well. Maloney wound up for it. I wasn't sure if he was going to try that from well outside. And then it's picked off by Harris. Doesn't have a ton of support with him. He's outmanned for now, but he keeps on making up some ground. Help is here with Mushagalusa. Gibson. Lou City will slow things down a touch. Header takes a deflection initially, then Mushagalusa keeps it in play brilliantly. Harris is spun around by Maloney, but it's a fair challenge. Lou City again, more pressure. Batista steps in nicely though in front of Ownby. Well, this is a live game in every sense. Every touch has a reaction. You feel there's a lot more action to come between these two tonight. We've had the electric start. We expect a thrilling encounter the rest of the way. See there, San Antonio's record when they concede first, not as good as when they score first, and that's probably the same for almost every team in the USL Championship, but those numbers when they get out in front are just, I mean, they're nearly perfect in some of the categories. You just tell how important that first goal was tonight when you look at the statistics, and Lou City has it. We will see how San Antonio reacts. They've reacted well so far. They're going to have to somewhat come out of their shells a little bit if they're going to get back into this game. And we'll see if Lou City can keep it up.
Yeah, this is a challenge tonight for San Antonio. And I think it's a challenge that, as a coaching staff, I'm sure Alan Marcin is looking forward to.
Header down was good initially by Lone. It's won back by Lou City with Gibson and Mushagalusa. Wilson Harris has the men in purple in front. Goal came in the 23rd minute. Mushagalusa was credited, as you'd expect, for the assist as well. Lovely ball in, but the finish was even better. You can believe that.
It's just outstanding, an outstanding finish, and that comes, you know, through repetition. You know, it's not the first time that happens, I'm sure. You know, during the week, it's Mushagalusa bringing balls in from the right, from the left, and then Harris is just finding the right technique to score in those type of plays, which is not easy at all.
And those two are rather familiar with each other. Played at Sporting KC2 together in the USL Championship, and they had some success here against Lou City before they joined Lou City. And of course, they've continued to be a great duo with the boys in purple. Welcome to the fans watching this game on WPKI, the official broadcast home for Louisville City FC. I'm sure they've enjoyed the start tonight. Jean St. Jacques, Jose Rodriguez here with you. Lou City, the defending Eastern Conference champions, leading the defending USL Championship winners in San Antonio in a rematch of last year's final. It's been a tremendous start to this game. Wilson Harris's goal in the 23rd minute has Lou City in front, and it's been an enthralling encounter to this point. That's a foul and a free kick, allowing San Antonio to set something up here.
Yeah, I think so far, you know, the first 30 minutes of the match, we've seen everything that we expected from this game. And if you really think about it, you know, the level of play, the matchup, the venue, the way the fans have been able to engage in the game, it doesn't get any better than this.
This has been where San Antonio of late has created most of their opportunities from set pieces. Bit of a false start for PC. He'll have to retry it. Referee was just making sure everything was staying civil inside the penalty area. Ball was curled in, nearly fell for Batista initially. Bailey tries to reset. Carano helps it back. Gomez is there for support. PC as well, trying to get it back in to the 18-yard box. Here comes the service. It's pretty good. Batista was rounding the back, but Winder and company come out with it. And And then Josh Winder is brought down for a foul and a free kick.
And what a ball from PC. I think he had two good chances, bringing good balls in. Just unfortunate that he wasn't able to find a teammate inside the box, but two very good balls from the Brazilian.
Great defensive work from Winder. Again, we talked about it briefly earlier, but gets a senior call-up to the U.S. men's national team for the upcoming encounter on April 19th against Mexico. Just the third active USL Championship player to accomplish that. He's 17 years old. He's actually at the first ever game that Lou City played as a club when he was young. And he's a local kid. It is such a special moment, not only for him and his family, but for the city of Louisville, Kentucky as well.
And by the way, deservingly so.
No question. No question.
It's not about, you know, a player that might become something. He is a good player already.
Yep.
He will get better, yes, because it's young. But he is at that level. He can compete for a starting spot very soon, especially in those games that are not FIFA dates. And by the way, it doesn't get any better than facing Mexico in what's already a rivalry, a big matchup. So huge congratulations to Winder.
No question about that. He was interviewed in the past and asked about, you know, what the future holds for his career. He's talked about maybe going to Europe at some point, but in the short term, he wants to win the USL Championship with Louisville City. He's been called up multiple times as a youth national player recently as well. He's performed well, given those opportunities. Of course, two of those three USL Championship call-ups played for Lou City. Jogo, Jonathan Gomez the other. Del Piccolo nearly got onto it. It's a nice touch and clearance quickly there from Batista. Here's Winder. Loses out that time. It was a nice touch from Pirano. Pirano is able to try and cross it into the middle. Winder does well to recover, does concede the corner in the end.
Yeah, great recovery that time, and especially when you lose the ball in front of, but I know that usually means trouble. He was upset about that. But in the end, good timing as well, just to get the ball out of bounds. It's still an opportunity here for San Antonio.
Pirano left the corner there. Looks like it's going to be Garcia who will come over and take it. Just under 10 minutes of the first 45 to go.
It's a little bit unusual, right? I mean, the center back comes forward, take a corner kick. That tells you a lot about Garcia.
Garcia must be having some good set piece and training sessions. That's a really good ball in. Headed away before Hansen could get his noggin to it. PC with some lovely control and nearly a beautiful finish. It just weaved from right to left, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. That's better from the champions.
Well, clearing the ball away was Louisville. Unfortunately, they were not able to find a counter-attack opportunity at that time. San Antonio with a lot of numbers inside the box. But PC moves past Manny Perez and then takes the left-footed shot. And after that, was he calling for a substitution, maybe?
I was just going to say, it looked like he was peering over to Alan Marcina. A lot of times when you see that finger wag and almost like a home run motion on the side, that could mean a substitution is coming. And meanwhile, on the other side of things for Lou City, I believe this is Mushagalusa who's a little slow to continue. I said this earlier, Lou City had 5 players either questionable or out before this game kicked off. There were 4 questionables for San Antonio. So it is an early season injury bugaboo for both groups. PC would be, I mean, obviously just look at the captain's armband, you would say that's an important player, but one of the heart and soul members of this team. Wouldn't want to lose him in such a big early season matchup such as this.
Yeah, you at least want him to finish the first half and give him the 15 minutes and see if he gets any better. And then you start thinking about maybe making substitution. And as well, if you make the substitution during halftime, then it doesn't count against one of your 3 windows.
Select the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.selectsportamerica.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Tellefsen trying to make up some space on this far side to get through. stood up, but he wins his side of throw. 23rd minute header, a brilliant header from Wilson Harris. Has Lou City on top for now. We've seen some flurries, especially from the set pieces from San Antonio in response, as they've tried to take back some momentum over this game. Del Piccolo is penalized. It's a free kick.
Now the challenge for San Antonio, Sean, is that, you know, they are comfortable with giving away possession, but, you know, Louisville is in control. They're leading the way. So guess what? Louisville is giving them the ball. And now that you have the ball and you're in San Antonio, then what do I do now? How do I work around having possession?
Something we were curious about, although San Antonio creates a chance there. Winder knew he had to get a touch to it, didn't quite know where it was going to end up. It ends up out of play for a corner. Good searching ball into the middle.
Yeah, don't be surprised if Barano ends up switching to the left side at some point, because yes, he's having opportunities inside the box, but that's a good job from Amadou Dia. And similar scenario when he faces Winder. So maybe if you switch him to the left side, then he'll be able to find a little bit of more room.
Garcia will take the corner. San Antonio in search of an equalizing goal. Another good ball whipped in, Gibson's head. PC tries to take out the pitching wedge and hits it into the bunker.
Yeah, he's not 100%, you can tell.
He is definitely fighting through it right now. Maybe like you said, Jose, trying to give Alan Marcina halftime to think about it. As far as a substitution is concerned, give him a lot of credit for trying to at least give his manager some options, but then again,
yeah,
could it get worse? Well, it's always tough. Again, right, we don't have PhDs here.
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, especially when you're thinking, you know, if it's a muscular injury, you don't want to risk it. But it feels like, you know, he's not 100%, but he's not far away from it. You just need to be careful.
Harris from Mushagalusa trying to feed it through for Ownby. Pass was cut out. Hayes cleans it up for San Antonio. Nice chest down into space from Sean Tosh. Ownby. Can Lou City double their lead before the break? Ball is delicately placed in behind for Perez to chase. He goes down. Referee says it was all ball. And it's deflected out for a goal kick off of Ownby's boot. Danny Cruz shakes his head. PC is down behind him. And Lou City fans wonder why they don't have a spot kick. We'll have maybe a chance to take a look at it, but for right now, the concern goes back to PC for San Antonio as Danny Cruz pleads his case.
Yeah, I think it's a good no call from the referee that time. Might have been a little bit of contact, but I don't think that's enough.
I don't think Danny Cruz agrees with you, Jose. We get the
another
luxury of another look here.
Yeah.
I think the other part of it too, right, is the player who fouled him is a player who's on a yellow card.
Right, yeah.
In Zico Bailey. I don't think that helped things there. Lou City were really calling for a spot kick there. That's a lovely take from Brian Ownby. In transition here, Lou City. This is Perez to the byline. He goes again. Batista closes him down brilliantly well, and Jordan Farr collects. Great battle between those two. But Lou City have it back. Dia for Tellefsen. Now Ownby. Gibson. 3 minutes left of the 45. Winder for Dia. Mushagalusa. Seems like every time he's touched it, good things have happened for Lou City. He slices one through. Del Piccolo and Harris not on the same page. Good hold-up play initially there by Hansen, but it goes all the way back to Zebla. This is Gibson, the rock in that midfield for Danny Cruz's group. Ownby. Ownby wants it back. He makes a nice run. It's a brilliant ball. Ownby has help in the middle, and it's slashed wide by Harris. Brilliant play from Lou City in the attack. Harris just can't apply the finishing touch.
Yeah, just beautiful out of the build-up, the way they were able to thread the needle that time, finding a lot of room, and maybe for the first time in the game, Ownby on the right side brings a beautiful ball in, but Harris just unable to finish. And let me tell you, this could be a key moment in the match. If Louisville scores the second goal 2 minutes away from the end of the first half, that's big. That's big, but they end up missing an opportunity here. And now San Antonio, they go into halftime thinking we should be down by 2 goals, and yet we're still right there, just 1 goal away.
Mushagalusa can't quite control it. This is Hayes for San Antonio. Ball's flared forward by Shannon Gomez. Didn't get very far. Del Piccolo gets his boot to it. Still a little bit of time left for a game-changing moment. These are always moments in games coaches say are important to score goals and important not to concede them, as the offside flag is up there. Hansen, he's penalized, and it's a free kick. Into the 45th we go. Ball is played down for Talefson on this near side. Lou City will get a throw-in opportunity here. Trying to add on to Wilson Harris's 23rd minute goal. Didn't mention this earlier, but maybe a goal of the week contender. Should be in the mix, I think.
I would agree with that. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, should be on the list.
The technique gurus out there. It was flawless technique. Harris trying to poke it through. Mushagalusa trying to keep it in play. He's got great pace, and he has great effort as well as he tumbles over the advertising board on the far side.
That's when you know you're playing at home. You get a little bit.
That's right.
Help coming back up.
It's a full team here. We are now into 1 minute of stoppage time. Stoppage time is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. And again, just to confirm, refs have added 1 minute at the end of a really entertaining and enthralling half of USL Championship soccer. It's what we were hoping for, and frankly, it was what we were expecting from the two teams that met in the final a year ago, and so far it has delivered the goods. Ball goes right back out of play for a Lou City throw. Referee has a peek at his watch. We've had the minute. Amadou Dia will take the throw. Mushagalusa can't quite get on the end of it. Ownby tries to save it, and does. But San Antonio clear, and the half ends here in Louisville. A very, very strong first half from the hosts, Lou City. Wilson Harris with a sparkling header has the challengers in front of the champions, who have plenty of work to do at halftime in this great rematch, and it's been a great 45 minutes.
Yeah, very good effort on both sides. Obviously for Seco Bailey, an early opportunity, unable to finish, and then, you know, just a few minutes later, it's a beautiful header from Wilson Harris, and that's the difference right now. A beautiful goal, and deservedly so, I think. It's Lou City with the lead.
Plenty to get to during halftime, but it has been a great first half between the defending champions and their challengers in Louisville City. The Harris goal has the hosts in front, and halftime coming up is brought to you by Breeze Airways. Nice, new, and nonstop. That's the Breeze way. Big 45 minutes coming up, but halftime is next from Kentucky.
Throughout life, you learn how to navigate challenges, big and small. Staying informed, to manage your time more efficiently, taking the right steps and making a plan to prepare for the future.
This weekend, you can get a free flu shot. Visit WDRB.com.
Making the right decisions and staying on course all starts with WDRB.
Honey, did you get our account switched over to Commonwealth Credit Union?
Yeah, I got that taken care of, sweetie.
You switched over everything. All our automatic payments, direct deposits, even our savings account?
Yep, I told you I'd get it taken care of.
You should never get stuck with a checking account you hate. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union has made things easy. Try Switch It today, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Choose your character. Manny Perez. Rasmus Delofsson. Enoch Mushagalusa. Tyler Gibson.
Let's go City.
Watch Louisville City FC take on Charleston Battery, April 22nd at 7:30 on WBKI.
When you get proven quality at lower than low prices. Find the proven quality you love at lower than low prices with Kroger brand products. Only at Kroger. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Sean St. Jacques, Jose Rodriguez back here with you at the half, brought to you by Breeze Airways. Nice to do it nonstop. That's the Breeze way. It's been nonstop between Lou City and San Antonio so far in the rematch of last year's championship game. Wilson Harris has the host in front by 1-0 at the break. But let's take a look now about some of the storylines happening around Lou City this week. Obviously, it starts with a very tragic event, Jose, and it's continuing to happen around our country. A bank shooting that was actually not very far away from where Danny Cruz and Lou City train. It's a place where they've actually been near where Lou City used to work at times as a club, and it continues to provide more tragic events, these shootings around the country.
Yeah, obviously very unfortunate. In our conversation with Danny Cruz, he talked about, you know, how that affected the players at some point during training. They were able to regroup, and, you know, obviously thoughts and prayers. You know, that's the one thing that for this team it's very important, staying connected with the community.
Teams for, I should say, Lou City wearing armbands to remember the victims of the tragedy, as are Racing Louisville, the sister club for the NWSL, who are on the road tonight. Of course, they normally play at Lynn Family Stadium. And again, as Jose said, we send all of our best wishes to the families of the victims. It has just been such a tough week. And Danny Cruz, we talked to him multiple times throughout the season. He just wasn't the same this week. The players had a really tough training session in the days after the tragedy. And we hope that everyone can move on as best as they possibly can under these extremely difficult circumstances. On another note for Lou City, a more positive note, we get to the Norton Children's superhero of the game, Norton Children's Hospital. And of course, it's 7-year-old Thomas Norris, who's awaiting a heart transplant due to a condition called dilated cardiomyopathy. He is at his first Lou City game tonight, and it is really a special moment for him. It's such a tough thing for him to go through. He's been at training, he's been with the team, he's helped to uplift the spirits of the club during this difficult time in the city, and it really is a nice story.
And that's a big part of the game. That's a big part of the game. You know, it's soccer. It's not about only what happens during the weekend. It's about how can you impact the lives of others. And I think this is the perfect example right here. And so happy that this little kid gets to enjoy and a great match so far.
No question about that. We wish him and his family all the best moving forward as well. We talked about this during the game as well. Have to revisit it. Josh Winder's call up to the U.S. men's senior national team. He's been with the youth national team twice over the last year, the under-19s and the under-20s. He's a local boy from Louisville, 17 years old, and he gets his call up. It's his third season with the club. He's also scored a couple of goals, both coming last season. What a moment for him, what a moment for the club, and what a moment for his family and the city as well.
Man, oh man, I can only imagine what goes through his mind after he's done with the game tonight. A quick turnaround as well for him, for his family. Wow, just you know, a great moment for Lou City, for the league, and of course for Winder.
We will take a break here. We will get to news and notes, scoreboard, and schedules from around the league coming up next as the Breeze Airway halftime report rolls on here from Louisville, with Lou City in front of San Antonio by 1-0.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Sean St. Jacques, Jose Rodriguez back here with you on the Breeze Airways halftime report. Good start for Lou City, leading the champions by a 0-0 in the rematch. Let's take a look now around the league in the USL Championship. We start with news and notes. Of course, Josh Winder's name is up in lights this week with his call-up for the U.S. men's national team. But not to be outdone, I should say, Jordan Farr is having a really strong start to his season as well.
I did get to vote, by the way, for the player of the month, and I must say I did the right thing.
You did. I think you're right.
Surprising. Surprising. It was hard for me to vote for a goalkeeper, but I said, yes, that's the right thing to do.
If not now, when, right? You said that earlier. If not now, when? Jordan Farr certainly deserves the credit for his great season. And a big matchup coming up, of course, the game's on ESPN and ESPN2. Lou City against Miami FC. That one's on May 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Those teams have met in the postseason in recent years. They will do it again in May. Let's take a look at the scoreboard from around the league. A lot of big results this week. We'll start with Charleston, who have had a great season under Ben Pierman so far. They get a nice road result against FC Tulsa, and they've had to back that up, of course, after the Rowdies win they had earlier in the week.
How about Loudon? How about Loudon United?
Incredible, right?
3-0 win against Birmingham Legion. They were leading the way at the top of the East, and I guess no surprise with Miami FC and Detroit City. Scoreless in the 63rd minute.
And the Fighting Bob Lilies are on track against RGV. They lead by 2-0. Vegas is ahead against Memphis. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for games next week. A couple of really good ones here in particular. Switchbacks, New Mexico United will be interesting, no question about it, but Orange County against Birmingham Legion stands out. Good start to the season for El Paso. Pittsburgh visits them as well.
Yeah, I think I would take, out of the 6 matchups, I think Switchbacks and New Mexico, that's a must-watch. I think that's a very good one. Really looking forward to that one.
Indy and Monterey Bay, keep an eye on that one as well.
That's a good one too.
Indy will be looking for some revenge after Monterey Bay thrashed them in Cali last season. We'll take a break. Highlights and stats are coming up next as Lou City are in front against San Antonio, but a big 45 minutes still to come. We'll recap half number 1 next, and then we'll get the second 45 minutes off and running here in Louisville after this.
Did you know taking care of your teeth and gums helps control blood sugar levels? A healthy smile means a healthier you. We can help you get there. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensendental.com. Did you know taking care of your teeth and gums helps lower your risk of heart attack? A healthy smile means a healthier you. We can help you get there. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensendental.com.
Sean and Jose back here with you. Lou City and San Antonio, 1-0 at the break. Let's take a look at the halftime highlights between the two teams that met in the championship game a season ago, Jose. We begin in minute 4 with Lou City on the ball.
Yeah, very good start for both sides. You know, the first 15 minutes, plenty of intensity, but, you know, an early opportunity here is Hansen with possession, tries to bring the ball in, looking for Bailone, and it's Bailey who ends up taking the shot. A great save that time from Semla, and a big moment at that point because, you know, the game could have changed if San Antonio takes the lead. Just a few minutes later, it's about, you know, going the other way, but how do you do it with Mushagalusa through the left side and at times as well with Brian Ombi on the right? They'll try again, one more time, and guess what happens?
A Wilson Harris header, a brilliant header at that, gives Lou City the lead. Goal presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. The Kentucky Lottery, nothing lucky about that goal. It was a stunning piece of skill. And then set pieces nearly allowed San Antonio to get back into it, but they couldn't find the finishing touch.
Yes, not a lot of possession late in the first half for Lou City. Obviously, you know, it's normal within the game because San Antonio, they need to react. They need to be a little bit more aggressive, but still, they were able to find the lone chance here in the last few seconds. A good ball from Omi coming in from the right side, and Harris just unfortunately unable to finish.
So that's where we stand at the break. Lou City leading by 1-0. Pave Masters brings you tonight's first half stats, and shots on target have been hard to come by, but chances are definitely being created by both teams.
This is one where the stats are a little bit tricky because, you know, they don't necessarily show you what happened on the field. The match was very well played in the first half, and if you look at the stats, only 3 shots on goal between both teams. It might not look good, but it was a good game.
Really fun first half, no question about it. And a big 45 minutes upcoming as Lou City trying to get some revenge for last season's final defeat. Lou City will be going from right to left here on ESPN Plus at the beginning of the second half, leading by a Wilson Harris 0-0. Can the defending champions come back and show some of that championship heart in the early parts of this USL Championship season? There were some halftime substitutions brought to you by Fortna. Oscar Jimenez on, Manny Perez off for Lou City. And then PC comes off. We kind of expected that. And Alan Marcina was given an opportunity to check things out at halftime. We will see David Loera come on to replace him. So 1 substitution each. PC's a big loss for San Antonio. I think there's no question about that. Manny Perez is a bit of an interesting one. He had a pretty good first half, I thought, Jose, but he's taken off.
A very good half for Perez. Well, we don't know if there's an injury involved, but, you know, regardless, you're bringing in a player like Oscar Jimenez. I mean, talk about experience, talk about, you know, consistency. It's just, it's not a big deal, to be honest. You know, it's
nice to have depth, right?
Yeah, it's more about, you know, are we concerned with Perez? Why is he coming out? As it stands right now, I think everything remains the same for Lou City. And now for San Antonio, I think we have to commend PC because he was able to hold on to the injury and just wait it out as much as he could. At some point, I really thought he was coming out late in the first half, but he was able to stay on the field, and that helps a lot, Alan Marcina, because still 4 substitutions available in 3 windows.
That's a captain's effort, if I've ever seen one from PC. Well, the first 5 minutes of the first half were interesting, right? It was an early chance from San Antonio that needed to be kept out by Oliver Zemla from Zico Bailey. But then Lou City really got going for the next 15 minutes. It led to the opening goal. And then we had to see if San Antonio was going to come out of their shell. They did, but really only set pieces provided opportunities for them. Loera trying to thread it through for Nico Hansen, who was questionable coming into the night.
And by the way, with Loera coming in, you know, it's a little bit of a different look because PC, yes, is involved offensively, but usually he helps a lot on defense. Loera a little bit different, a little bit more aggressive.
Nice run into the penalty area here by Pirano. Does run out of room, but it is a corner, it looks like.
This might be the way for San Antonio to get back into this game, because I don't think they have been able to take advantage of set pieces. They have been able to put good balls in, but just they have been lacking that connection in the final third.
Their 16-match unbeaten run is at stake here tonight. Garcia has been on set pieces all night for San Antonio, just about. Ball comes into the near post. It was poked on by Batista. It's a scramble around for it, and Harris clears it away before more trouble could brew. Tracked down by Maloney. Lofting it back in. Garcia flings a boot at it. It's headed around. I think it was Harris again who cleared it. Maybe Gibson. But a challenge in the midfield on Harris. That's going to be brought back for a free kick. Harris stays down. Incredulous look there from, I believe, Loera. Harris does win the free kick. It did go Lou City's way in the end.
Well, I think the foul is called on Batista, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a clear foul. I'm a little bit surprised here that Malik Badawi took his time making the call.
Now the concern, though, is for Wilson Harris, who is still on the pitch here, on his back.
And he's feeling it right now, but he's going to feel it even more tomorrow morning, let me tell you.
And I think you were right, Jose. I think Batista makes the initial challenge here. And maybe it was just the reaction from Loera that was highlighted. He's still not quite sure why it was given, it looks like. It was a crunching challenge, as you said, Jose. Here's the look at it.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it was Loera, although take your pick, really. Both guys are in on the challenge.
It was both of them.
It was a San Antonian sandwich.
But I think the initial contact from Batista basically pushes Harris in a way that, you know, he basically needs to collide with Loera. He was right in front of him.
Harris is back on his feet, which is huge news for Lou City, the goal scorer. And it is a Lou City free kick. It was a little peculiar how long it took our referee, Malik Badawi, to make the call. I think he maybe was seeing if there was going to be advantage, but none accumulated. And it's going to be Zemla that comes forward for the host to take the free kick and get us back underway here. Did that take a deflection? Yes, it did. San Antonio disagreed with the call. Talked about earlier, Jose, players as a group, you know, when a decision has to be made by the referee, everyone's on the same page. Mushagalusa there saw the deflection, immediately put his hand up, asked the question of the referee, gets the decision in the end. He's forced out of play here. It's good defensive work from the visitors, and they get the ball back.
And to your point, sometimes the referees go and make decisions based on the way the players react. You know, it's impossible for the referees to see every single thing that happens on the field. But you know, reactions when there's a handball inside the box, you know, if a lot of the players, of the core group of players, you know, put their hands up, then you might lean the referee to make a decision.
Oh, Bailey, not sure if he knew where that was going. Harris trying to pressure Batista, who gets it out of harm's way just in the nick of time. They always tell you in school, right? There's never a dumb question.
Yep.
So ask it. Ownby trying to weave around Batista with his right boot. Could only nick it out of play for a goal kick.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Lou City attacks San Antonio through the middle now that there's no PC. Because PC, he basically plays the same role that Gibson does for Lou City. So that's a very important player. That connection in the middle of the field is not there anymore. And Loera is a little bit more aggressive. He's a step or two ahead tactically than PC. So at some point, there's going to be some room through the middle for Lou City to attack.
Should mention as well, Zico Bailey and Christian Pirano are still on yellow cards for San Antonio. There were no bookings for Lou City in the first half. That is worth keeping an eye on. Again, it was PC who came out due to injury, so both of the yellow carded men are still there for the champions. This is Loera. And Lou City trying to force it back. It's headed towards goal. And Zemla, he's able to come up with it. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of the USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home of the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Here's Mushagalusa. Harried a bit there by Garcia, and then he returns the favor and concedes a free kick.
Plenty of fouls early on in the second half, and that's not helping, especially San Antonio. They want to gain some momentum early on, but with the game stopping every 20 seconds or so, it's really hard to do.
Do you think the Wilson Harris injury kind of started us down that path a little bit, and it's been a little stop-start the last 3 or 4 minutes, maybe even longer than that, you could argue?
Yeah, I think
it's
been a very physical start to the second half, and I think, you know, Lou City will be okay with that because they have the lead, but you want to play a little bit more if you're San Antonio.
Harris nearly with a delectable touch, trying to keep that attack going. There's some space here for Pirano on this near side to work with. Ball is curled in towards the back post. Header is central, and Zemla collects. Bailone, who created a couple of chances in the first half, got his head to it. Lou City have it back in possession.
Yeah, for San Antonio, it's going to be very important to give, you know, opportunities in front of goal to Bailone, to Hansen. And as it stands right now, 55th minute, and the one chance that we've seen from San Antonio, you know, it's been the Bailey who took the shot. You know, you need to give opportunities to your strikers. I think that's something that they need to work on here in the second half.
Del Piccolo wasn't able to find a teammate. Now Mushagalusa picks it up. Assisted the Wilson Harris goal. Those two are looking for each other again. On this near side, it's Harris. Couldn't return the favor, but Lou City make progress.
And that's a perfect example of the understanding between these two players, because as soon as Mushagalusa feeds Harris very close to the line, Harris, his first thought is to give the ball back to Mushagalusa because he knows he's making the run right behind him. So that tells you a little bit about the understanding between those two players.
Dia had it cut out. Good step in by Ja'Cory Hayes for San Antonio. This is the tough part, right? San Antonio is so used to having the lead. They're so successful when they have it. And Lou City's done what really no one's been able to do for some time, and that's force them to come out and play a different style than they're used to playing. And we've seen some breakdowns from San Antonio, and it's by design. That's what Danny Cruz wanted, and that's what he touched on with us earlier this week.
Yeah, and a lot of work goes into it. You know, it's not something that happens just because you're a good team and you have good players. You know,
right.
you need to put a plan out there during the week, work on it, and then, you know, the hardest part is to execute it on the field on game day.
Ownby was the target of the pass in behind. Batista heads it out, and Jordan Farr and company have to defend another corner. Tellefson will take it. Wi-Fi corner is on the way here for Lou City in search of a second. Tellefson goes the low road. It's flicked around. Nearly fell for Dia, and still might. And he takes a big swing at it to try and stop his San Antonio counterattack and gives it back to the defending champions.
Just about, you know, as important as a goal, right, really, that time for Amadou Dia, because he's able to stop a counterattack, and that's exactly what San Antonio is hoping for at this point. They want to score early, and if they can get it out of counterattack, that fits exactly their style of play.
Mushagalusa wins it back. He's dragged down. It's a free kick. Shannon Gomez sees yellow for the challenge. You don't need me to tell you how he feels about it, and it's a free kick.
Well, it's the third yellow card for San Antonio here. Here's another look. Oof, a little bit harsh, to be honest.
Maybe a foul, not a yellow, you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that thought. Obviously concerning for Alan Marcina. We're talking about Gomez and Bailey already with a yellow card alongside Parano.
World of Beer yellow, a fifth third bank free kick for Tellefson and Lou City on the attack. He leaves it. Del Piccolo takes it. Harris waved a boot at it. Ownby did as well. It's deflected, and it's out for a corner. More pressure mounting.
Yeah, very important stretch here, Sean, because, you know, it's about time for Lou City to make a push to score the second goal. And at the same time, if you're San Antonio, you cannot let that happen. You have to be aggressive as well and try to tie the game.
A second goal could be paramount in determining where the points go tonight. As we approach the hour mark, it's another set piece opportunity. Del Piccolo whips it in towards Ownby. San Antonio have enough men there to clear it. And it'll be recycled. Jimenez gets it right back in. Ownby's cross, and again, enough red shirts there to shepherd it out. Gibson tries to switch the point of attack. And San Antonio again sees it out. Ushikalusa, a little touch pass, tried to find Winder. This ball's lofted towards the penalty area. It had to be headed out by Zemla. Hayes. Oh, thought the run was going to continue from Gomez. It's a breakdown. And it's going to be Lou City's ball on this near side. That was a really good idea between the two players. As Ushikalusa is slow to get up here on the hour. But Gomez, after making a great pass, didn't continue his run, and Hayes couldn't find him. And meanwhile, San Antonio is going to go to the bench here. We're told there's going to be 3 changes here for the champions. Kamari Smith is going to come on along with Eric Hurtado and Mohamed Abu. Ja'Cory Hayes, who just made that pass, Nico Hansen and Nacho Bailone are all going to come off. It's a triple change for Alan Marcina's group, all brought to you by Fortna. And they're hoping that this can help change the tide and get the champions back on level terms here.
Well, and I think it's the right decision for Alan Marcina. You're down by a goal. Why not make the push now and not wait until you're down by 2 goals and still having the need to score 2 to get at least a point? Rather do it right now, still go for 2 goals and get 3 points at the end of the night.
Ball is played through Zemla. He's able to come up with it and slow things down again for the challengers tonight. Parano loses it out of play. Gomez. Abu. Nice turn. Handled by Ushikalusa. Referee spots it. And it's a free kick. One thing that we talked about earlier is that this has been slowed down a bit by injuries and things of that nature. See if we can start to see some momentum one way or another. Lou City just had a good spell of attack. Abu's ball in, Batista couldn't quite get a head onto it. Bailey recycles. Lofting it in, it's a lovely chest down. Great close down by Amadou Dia. The substitute Hurtado put himself in a very good position, but was closed down just in time. Now Bailey trying to thread it through. Bailey gets it back. This is good interplay. Garcia lofting it over the top. Smith heads it down. Hurtado trying to get in behind. And his challenge leads to a foul and a free kick.
Well, good early minutes for basically the 3 players that just came in the match, because Abu very much involved in the middle. And both strikers, Hurtado, maybe not getting touches, but still fighting for it. You know, that's about bringing new players in. They need to bring energy, and they have a short amount of time in comparison to the starters. So you need to play an impact in the first 10 to 15 minutes to get back into the rhythm, to kind of set the tone. And I think San Antonio, they have been able to do that.
Louisville City will put the World's Game on display at Lynn Family Stadium later this summer when hosting its first ever international friendly. Lou City will welcome Germany's FC Kaiserslautern to town on Wednesday, June 21st. Tickets are in demand and on sale now. For more information, go to loucity.com. Ushagalusa continues to deal with maybe a little niggle as far as an injury is concerned, but like we've seen tonight, it's been one of the themes. Players have been playing on. It's too big of a game to miss out. We lost PC earlier to an injury. Tellefson and Del Piccolo hold a conference over this free kick. Del Piccolo towards the back post. Toshin for Ownby, who tried to scorpion it or backheel it at least. And it goes wide, and I think it was negated anyway. Lou City will make a change here. Wilson Harris, who just picked up a bit of a knock earlier, is going to be replaced, and one of Lou City's legends will take his place. Cameron Lancaster is going to come on, try and help get Lou City over the line, as he's done so many times before. It's a Fortuna substitution, and the goal scorer, Wilson Harris, is replaced by one of the league's best goal scorers.
What a luxury that is, right?
No question.
I mean, Harris is out of the game, and yeah, no problem. Cameron Lancaster coming in.
Never heard of him, right? I mean, only one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have a deep roster, you know, to do that. And they are missing players, but still, you know, you're able to make those type of moves within a game, similar to Jimenez, of course.
And Cameron Lancaster was questionable coming into the night, but he was good enough for a spot on the bench, and he's good enough to get some time in here to try and help Lou City exact some revenge for a season ago. Hurtado gets in behind, tries a really ambitious effort, but it's volleyed well wide of the goal.
Yeah, an interesting decision from Hurtado. Maybe a little bit pressure. You know, he felt Dia and Wander very close to him. That's why he decided not to hold the ball, but probably the right decision would have been just to keep possession at that point.
Hurtado went for the spectacular. And Zemla, at least since the first 5 minutes, hasn't had to come up with a big save, but has continued to organize things well at the back for Danny Cruz's group.
Well, that's the life of the goalkeeper, right? You know, sometimes you make one save and you know that's enough, and sometimes you make the lone mistake and then you're the worst player in the world. That's the reality of that position. That's why, you know, when we play pickup on Sundays, nobody wants to be the goalkeeper. Are you surprised about that?
The last man or woman selected gets the penny. You're not wrong. It's like a catcher in baseball. Almost no one wants to play it, but someone's got to be the leader. Looks like there's another foul there. It's going to be a free kick for San Antonio. Alan Marcina, you can see him briefly on the bottom part of your screen, wants his team to get this going, pick it up a little bit, which is not what San Antonio, again, likes to do. It's not really their style. But with Lou City in the box seat for 3 points right now, San Antonio has to go for an equalizing goal. Abu goes for it. It wasn't far away. Good strike from the substitute, but couldn't hit the target.
Yeah, it's a very good effort, and you know it's a good decision as well from Alan Marcina, because he brought in Loera and he understood that he was given a little bit of room in the middle. And just a few minutes later brings Abu, and Abu is a player a little bit more to the style that we have seen from PC. And after the injury for the Brazilian, I think finally San Antonio, they have been able to find some balance in the middle.
23rd minute goal from Wilson Harris separates the sides. And we were talking with Danny Cruz about total passes. You can see there in the top left-hand part of your screen. Talk to us about how Lou City averages over 400 passes a game. San Antonio is really more around like 230, 240. It's quite a stark difference, but because of that first goal going in for Lou City, it's a lot more even than I think Alan Marcina and San Antonio would have been hoping for.
I thought exactly the same thing. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, I will never forget from that call with Danny Cruz. 200, 230 passes, and yet
on average,
still, and yet they're still successful. Yes, that's very impressive.
And Danny Cruz said, you know, not knocking it, I respect it because they win. They do what they have to do. But he said, I would never play that style, but it's a successful thing for Alan Marcina's group. And he says, you have to respect it because they beat us with it last year. They've been beating everybody, or at least getting a point with that style for quite some time, as the flag did go up here against Lou City on the near side. We approach 20 minutes left. Still some big moments potentially ahead in this final rematch from a season ago in the USL Championship. Lucia comes back to retrieve. Amadou Dia is there in support. His deflection, I should say his pass takes a deflection. Abu picks it back up with some great effort. This is Shannon Gomez, but he's dispossessed. He's got to be careful. He's on a yellow card. Dia's ball in the middle, ricochets. Batista can certainly pick out a good pass. Kamarni Smith in behind, chests it down. Hurtado was trying to get on the end of it. Well read by Oliver Zemla, and it needed to be. Ownby, lovely push and chase. He's brought down by Batista, and Batista sees yellow. So difficult sometimes to deal with the slippery Brian Ownby. It's a foul and a free kick.
Well, it takes a second. That's the key for Ownby. It takes a second for him to turn around. And then, you know, as a defender, it's just too fast, and you're slow to react, and you want to get the ball, but no, you commit the foul. Easy one that time.
Another World of Beer yellow card. The fourth for San Antonio tonight. It leads to another Fifth Third Bank free kick. Lou City trying to add on to their lead that they got early in the first half. Lovely little layoff there for Jimenez. Ownby tiptoes the sideline to keep it in. Tellefson on the turn. 3 men on him, he keeps it, but Batista finally sweeps it away. And now Hurtado, one-man band in the attack on the other end. Winder shuts him down. Abu from Bailey. Bailey had the big chance inside of 5 minutes. What a big save that's turned out to be from Zemla. It's really dictated how the rest of the game is gone. If that goes in, it's a totally different story. Loera, the substitute, against Jimenez. Bailey curling one in towards the back post, and Dia is well positioned to head it away. Galusa, lovely skill. Trying to play it down the line for Lancaster. Garcia has far in support. Hey Louisville, ticket packages are available now for 2023. Lou City's next home match is Pups at the Pitch Night on May 13th at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss the chance to bring your furry friend to Lynn Family Stadium when the boys in purple face Miami FC. Tickets are available at louiscity.com/tickets. Of course, that's a postseason rematch from a couple of years ago. Lou City and Miami FC. It's like Lou City's going through their old postseason catalogs at the start of this season. Playing a lot of teams that they've met when it matters most.
Tell you what, I'm not sure if I'm ready to take my dog to a soccer game just because of
Not
how
yet.
much he loves balls. You know, I think Semla will be in trouble with my golden retriever chasing around the field.
If they need an extra ball boy or ball girl, maybe they could use the pup. We've seen a great performance tonight from Lou City. It hasn't always been pretty, and it never really is when you play San Antonio. But they have done what they've needed to do so far. San Antonio knows there's still work to be done. They'll make another fortnight change. It's their last substitution available to them. It's one of their newer signings, Isaiah Parker, who's going to come on for Zico Bailey.
One of 4 players with a yellow card for San Antonio.
Oh, lovely play from Ownby again. It could open up for him here. Lancaster's through the middle. Oscar Jimenez plays it behind Ownby and couldn't quite put the pass together. Now can San Antonio counterattack? Kamarni Smith gets onto it, the substitute. Going at Winder. It's played centrally for Pirano. Back for Smith, who goes down. And in the end, it just rolls into the hands of the goalkeeper. Alan Marcina can't believe it. He's looking for a penalty. It hasn't been given. Well, that'll certainly be worth another look. Kamarni Smith was asking for it. Did Winder get enough contact on him?
I don't know. I don't see it. You know, I'm going to agree with the referee this time. There is some contact there, but it's just not enough.
Referee's been pretty consistent with that as Ownby tries to slither a pass in for Lancaster. Couldn't find him. And now Parker. He's stopped by Ownby. Great extra effort from one of the best Lou City attackers. And there's 15 minutes of the 90 left with a slim margin going the way of Lou City.
Yeah, and here's where it looks like Malik Badawi is going to San Antonio's bench.
You're right, Jose. He's come over to give Alan Marcina a bit of a word here and a booking on top of that for his thoughts on the potential penalty shout just a few moments ago. And Alan Marcina can't believe it.
Well, he still believes that there's enough contact there for a penalty, of course. But I think, you know, for Lou City, this is the moment where you really have to make a decision as to, do I go for that second goal and stay true to my identity? I want to dominate the game. I want to dictate the tempo. I want to close things out, which is what we're used to.
And there's a World of Beer yellow confirmed for the San Antonio head coach. That's the 5th of the night.
Yeah.
Rare that we see the coach's name up there.
Right, yeah. But, you know, it seems like, you know, San Antonio is getting opportunities out of the counterattack, and that needs to be concerning for the home side.
Fans head to Twitter now to vote on tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now at twitter.com/Lou City. A couple more arguments towards Malik Badawi from San Antonio. Free kick for Lou City. San Antonio does have to try to keep their composure here. It's not always easy to do that, of course, but there's still time for them to rescue this, the champions. Well, just play down the line. Tosh has to deal with Hurtado. He does really well initially, but Hurtado is spry and gets back onto it. Plays a great ball for Pirano. And Pirano trying to leave it for Gomez. It just didn't come off. And it is cleared back upfield. Maloney For Gomez, it's brought back on a late challenge from Cameron Lancaster. And Lancaster sees yellow. It's the first booking of the night for a Lou City player. And I don't think anyone would have picked him to get it. Yet here we are.
Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, we see the players go to the referee and tell them it's my first foul of the game. But I think this time it's a good call. It's just a little bit late. You know, obviously it helps Maloney up again. There's no bad intentions that time, but, you know, just a little bit late to the ball. That happens.
Well, Lou City is making a fortunate change here, as you see the World of Beer yellow for Cameron Lancaster. One Winder wasn't enough. We'll make it 2. Elijah Winder comes on, Josh's brother. Paolo Del Piccolo put in another good shift. You can always expect that out of him. Get some good support from the fans. He makes way. And Elijah is on. Here comes San Antonio with Abu. Flaring it into the penalty area. Another coming together between Garcia and Tosh. They get into it. It's a goal kick. I think Garcia may have been looking for that. Tosh said, I think, those exact words to him. And we move on.
Yeah, by the way, another good ball. You know, there's no complaining.
That's been consistent all night, right, from San Antonio.
They have been able to put good services in, good crosses in. They're lacking that connection, that finishing touch inside the box. That's the one thing they're missing.
And again, Lou City's trying to not only get revenge, but they're trying to end the 16-match unbeaten run that San Antonio is on. It goes back to last season. But there's still more work to be done. And there still could be pivotal moments remaining in this contest.
Will they face each other again after tonight?
They say in boxing, right? Nothing beats a trilogy. Will we see a third? I mean, who knows, right? These two will certainly be in the conversation throughout the year. And this one's not decided yet by any means, but that's how rivalries form, right? You play big games on big nights against big opposition. And that's how those memories and sometimes those divisions come together. Dia from the throw. Batista heads it out. And now a chance to move it forward for Pirano. Winder, Josh that is there to clear it. And San Antonio will start again with 10 minutes of the 90 remaining. We're likely going to see at least a decent chunk of stoppage time for all of the injuries we've seen in the second half, or at least the injury stoppages. Hurtado has been lively since coming on. Chested it down for, in the end, Mushagalusa. Still on the lead for Wilson Harris's goal. Lou City back in the 23rd minute. The only real moment of quality in front of goal tonight. Gomez. Danny Cruz loves the energy his side is bringing here on this near touchline. His side wins a throw, and it's more trash talking from both teams. Maybe Lou City starting to sense that they're close to exacting some revenge for the November final defeat. But these are the champions. You have to put the champions away. Can Lou City finish the job? Ownby. It's so tough to deal with 1v1 in this game. So much skill in those boots of his. So he's also one of the smarter players in the league as well, Brian Ownby. Always has good position, as that's a drag down potentially on the far side. Referees have let a lot of those like coming together moments where it's not, you're not quite sure. They let those go tonight. Cameron Lancaster is not thrilled that they let that go.
Well, I think, you know, that there has been an understanding for Malik Badawi, the referee, that, you know, this will be a physical game. And, you know, it's not an easy game to officiate because it's a very thin line. But I think as it stands right now, he has done a good job.
Lou City's potentially, if they can close it out, on the verge of their 140th USL Championship win. That would extend their record for the most all time. They set it last time out against Detroit City. It's currently at 139. They actually passed the Charleston Battery to get that record. The way Charleston's playing this season, those two will be going neck and neck for that. That ball took a deflection for Hurtado in the middle. And it's brought back. I think it did get handled by Mushagalusa on the entry. And it will be a San Antonio free kick.
Yeah, good call at the time. And I think, you know, this one goes to the assistant referee because that happened right in front of him. Yes, the ball hits the hand.
I think Danny Cruz was asking what the foul was for, but we get another look at it. It was right there, and I beg your pardon, it wasn't Mushagalusa, it was Amadou Dia who handled it.
A good understanding from the referee as well not to play advantage because San Antonio, they did have possession, but not a clear chance to score.
Abu's ball in. Towards the back post, it's deflected around, and Lancaster took no chances and clears it away. Abu wasn't able to corral it. And Lynn family appreciates the clearance and the defensive work that's going to be required if the boys in purple are going to see this out.
Well, a good collective effort throughout the match, honestly, for Lou City defensively. How many times did we see Harris go back and clear the ball away? Now it's Lancaster who's able to do it. You know, that tells you about the commitment and the understanding that, you know, collectively, especially through set pieces, you need to be there. You need to be alert. And this time, it's Lancaster right there who's able to clear the ball away.
All those moments help, especially in a game on a slim margin like this one is. Starting to see the lights out here in Louisville. Can they see it out to get the win? As Hurtado, Loera was in there as well, but I think Hurtado handles that. And the attack breaks down for the champions. They've been taken out of their normal style of play. It's been so rare to see it of late. But Lou City have done exactly what they've needed to do tonight. The only thing they haven't done is put this game out of reach. Another great crowd here in Louisville. One of the best home venues in the league. It's delivered again tonight on a big night. And their fans, Lou City, are hoping that a win is on the way. It's a foul and a free kick for San Antonio. 5 minutes of the 90 left before injury time comes on the back end. Do the champions have a late run in them here to keep their unbeaten streak alive? A volley lashed well over the top from Pirano. Ambitious to say the least, but it's just been moments like that for San Antonio. It just hasn't quite clicked in the final third, as we've come accustomed to see.
Yeah, I think the first half was good for San Antonio, even though they didn't create a lot of chances, but they were active with the ball. They have been able to, you know, find some room in the attacking part of the field. Second half, struggling a little bit.
Well, we know who tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match is. It is Wilson Harris, whose goal in the 23rd minute has Lou City on the verge of winning this game. It's another wild shot from Hurtado. Goes well over the bar and out. Wilson Harris did what we've come to expect from him, and that's be clinical in front of goal. It was a high-quality headed goal from a Mushagalusa cross, and Danny Cruz's group is hoping that that's going to be enough.
Yeah, without a doubt, that's, you know, the key moment of the match as it stands right now. But, you know, just overall, a great finish, great technique from Harris. And, you know, just a great example of, you know, what Lou City can bring to the table. Because you have players like Wilson Harris that you can trust that he can start. Cameron Lancaster did it early in the season as well. But overall tonight, I think, you know, it's been a good overall performance for Lou City. And the most important thing, Sean, they have been able to take San Antonio out of their own game.
Dia for Ownby. back for Ownby here. It's out for a throw. As we take a peek at the clock, and San Antonio is starting to run out of time here. San Antonio defensively tonight, especially after the Harris goal went in. That's what we're used to seeing from them, as Gomez controls, although Lou City thought there might have been a hand in there. Maloney, forward for Loera, who's brought down. Nothing doing. More heated words between the two sides. Gomez and Lancaster fight for it. Lancaster, great hold-up play. It's a free kick. Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder in the reigning Eastern Conference winners Lou City. Don't miss the start of the new season of the USL on ESPN, Saturday, May 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. It's also a good reminder that there's plenty of more big games coming up, but this was an early statement game that everyone had circled on the calendar when the schedule came out. It has lived up to the billing so far, and there still could be some late drama here in Louisville. Second half certainly been a bit choppier than the first, but it certainly has been hard fought throughout. Some big moments for both teams, but Wilson Harris's moment of magic has Lou City in the driving seat. As Elijah Winder is penalized, I think he's been booked as well for this challenge. So the Lou City substitute sees yellow. It's a World of Beer yellow card.
Just needed to find a way to stop him at that point. Counter-attack opportunity, 90th minute. You know, that's a yellow card that you need. You have to take it.
Those professional fouls sometimes can save games for teams. Abu will take the free kick. Ball is flared into the middle. It's headed away. We enter 5 added minutes. Brought to you by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. As another San Antonio attack breaks down. There's still some time for the champions to save themselves here and keep their unbeaten run alive, but they're going to need better service than what we just saw there.
Yeah, I think, you know, they just, for San Antonio, I think they have looked a little bit uncomfortable in the second half. You know, they were never able to find that consistency in their play that we've seen before from them. And, you know, that goes to Lou City. We have to give credit to the home side. You know, they have been able to dominate the game in some other ways, not only with possession, but as well with creating that that stop and go within the game that hasn't allowed San Antonio to reach their level.
It's a tough upcoming schedule for Lou City. They're on the road quite a bit to start this regular season. Danny Cruz talked about how difficult it's already been for travel for Lou City. Doesn't get any easier upcoming. San Antonio and the West always have a difficult schedule as well. The two best teams will be challenged throughout the season. This is Hurtado. Can San Antonio muster up a late equalizing goal? Drive to the byline, ball in the middle for Batista, who's come forward. He's pretty good in the air, Lamar Batista, and I think that may be underselling it. That's why he's up there right now, number 15 there. Can potentially make an impact. This is Parker, back for Batista. Batista puts in a good ball. Smith couldn't quite size it up. Ownby helps it along. It's another throw. Some late pressure here from San Antonio. Parker again. 3 minutes left. Maloney lets one fly! Good save from Zemla. Maloney put all of his power behind it, and it nearly snuck in. It needed a good save.
What an effort from Maloney, and maybe this is the spark that San Antonio needed out of the right center back here tonight. pushing forward and taking the shot. The ball that bounces right in front of the goalkeeper.
Another chance. Zemla punches it away. Parker blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Now Lou City run the other way. It's Dia letting it go for Ownby. Plenty of blue shirts queuing up. And then Winder, it was Elijah looking for it. Ownby couldn't find him. It was deflected. But Lou City can use more clock after 2 close calls at the other end.
Well, if you didn't have a clear pass, and I think that was the case for Ownby because of the way he was positioned on the field, then it's good for him to keep possession. That's experience right there. Obviously, tired legs. Elijah Winder, you know, just a few minutes on the field. Obviously, he can run up and down the field. Different scenario for Brian Ownby.
Lou City won a free kick. It's not been given. Still time for San Antonio. There's still 2 minutes left here. Maloney for Abu. Hurtado lets it run past him. And then was he taken down there? Referee says yes. It's a free kick and a yellow card for Oscar Jimenez. A set piece opportunity here in a pretty advantageous position.
Well, this is it. A little bit over a minute on the clock. Here's another look. Not a good touch here from Hurtado. But he's able to recover. Give him credit at time.
World of Beer yellow card as we enter the final minute of the minimum of 5 added on. Is there a late twist here for San Antonio? Abu's ball in. Hurtado! Wide. Tough angle. But he couldn't find it. And that might be the last major act of the match.
You're absolutely right. It's a good feed once again, but just the angle for Hurtado wasn't an easy one. And finally, they were able to find a target inside the box when it comes to set pieces, something that San Antonio struggled with throughout the match. It looks like it's not going to be enough.
Parker to no one in particular. And that's the final act. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Lou City gets San Antonio back for the final last season. They beat the champions by a 0-0. And they get a huge early season statement win over the defending USL Championship winners. Wilson Harris's goal in the 23rd minute, enough for all 3 points. They did exactly what they needed to do to take down the champions, and San Antonio's 16-game unbeaten run ends in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a clean sheet as well, which means it's a Mortensen family dental clean sheet. A clean game calls for a healthy, clean smile. Big saves from Oliver Zembla throughout to make sure that clean sheet stood up. It leads to a big Lou City victory. You can head to any participating Lou City area Wendy's tomorrow to get a free small Frosty. No purchase necessary. No Jose will be doing that. And of course, tonight's final score is brought to you by the Gorski Law Office. Lou City defeat the defending champions who took the crown from them a season ago by a 0-0. A great contest here in Kentucky, and we will wrap it all up next here on ESPN+.
When you get proven quality at lower than low, Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Well, they say the grass is greener there, but ours is dreamy blue. And there's no place I would rather be than Kentucky with you.
It's game time, baby. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm ready. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time. 'Cause it's
Post-game is presented to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. Sean St. Jacques, Jose Rodriguez here with you. Big win for Lou City, taking down the defending champions San Antonio tonight by a Wilson Harris goal to nil. And Jose will recap it here with the full-time highlights, and we begin with San Antonio on the attack via a counter-attacking opportunity.
Yes, you know, it's very few mistakes defensively tonight for Lou City, but here's one. Manny Perez not a good pass that time. Henson looking for Bailone inside the box, feeds Bailey, and what a save that was from Semla. And without a doubt, one of the key moments of the match. At that point, it was San Antonio playing at a high level.
Then Wilson Harris broke the deadlock with a really good header.
Yeah, a beautiful feed as well from Mushagalusa, and the header is just outstanding. You know, that's the type of header that, you know, comes with a lot of work. And again, like we mentioned during the broadcast, if you want to score against Jordan Farr, it better be a good one.
San Antonio, via set pieces, kept themselves in with a chance, but just couldn't really find the clinical touch required.
Yeah, PC, just a few minutes before, you know, he felt that injury that took him out of the game. A good effort that time, left-footed shot.
Then we saw Brian Ownby and company start to put on a clinic, but Wilson Harris couldn't take the chance.
Yeah, and we thought this moment could be very important because it was late in the first half, and that could have given Lou City a 2-goal lead. But in the end, it was enough, the goal from Harris.
San Antonio kept pressing. We got to give them credit. They never gave up in the game, but again, the final third was lacking. And they had a couple of late chances to equalize, but nothing came off for them.
Yeah, plenty of chances from set pieces, and maybe that's the one thing that Alan Marcina is not going to be happy with. 93rd minute, one more chance here from Maloney, way outside the box. A good shot. Not an easy save at all because the ball bounces right in front of the goalkeeper, and that makes it really tricky. But a good job, once again, defensively for Lou City this time.
That might have ended up being the best chance San Antonio had in the second half. Pabe Masters brings you the full-time match stats. Shots on target were low after the first half. They remained low throughout. +8 in total shots for San Antonio, but Lou City's defense won the day.
How about the possession numbers?
Yeah.
San Antonio with a 51%. Who would have thought?
Rare to see that.
Yeah.
Just what Danny Cruz drew up, and Lou City gets revenge on San Antonio for the Cup final defeat a season ago. It was a thrilling encounter in Kentucky between the defending conference champions from the East and the West. Lou City wins it by a goal to nil and gets revenge on San Antonio. For Lou City, I should say for Jose Rodriguez and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. So long from Kentucky. Lou City wins it and gets revenge by a goal to nil.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.